Why it's coming out now is we wanted to wait, to get through all of the legal proceedings, the criminal trial, and it's 4 parts, and it spans over 30 years of pop culture, his life. So it took some time, to say the least, to put all of this together.
It's an important story, and you could just tell it with all the public material. Mm-hmm. You go further, you've gotten your hands on some extra new material people are going to see for the first time, including this video. Any journalist would want to know how you got it, but it is Sean Diddy Combs in the heat of this, right before the arrest for the trial we just discussed, in private moments, talking to his lawyer, cameras running.
He also underestimated that with every celebrity, you do have different claims, and some are completely unfounded. But I think that some of these lawsuits, there's receipts, mm-hmm. and there's footage, and there's voice recordings. And I think that for a man, it's also very interesting, for the culture of hip hop, so many artists record themselves, and they probably, when they were recording themselves in 2005, never saw the year 2025 and how accessible that media would be to actually make a case for things. And I think,
all right, let's dive in. The focus on Jay-Z is growing stronger every day. With serious legal attention already surrounding him, people are now looking more closely at his early role in helping Rihanna enter the music industry. Public voices like 50 Cent and Jaguar Wright have shared their views, adding fuel to the conversation. As more opinions come forward, the discussion is picking up speed. The people are asking tougher questions about power, influence, and how long-standing industry relationships can shape public narratives. What started as talk is now turning into a much more intense and widespread debate.
That's a baby when she came over here. And look at her now.
14 going on 15 years old. Flown over without parental supervision in a private plane by a man who was supposed to be a producer who auditioned her at 3 a.m. in the morning in a hotel room. Auditioning at 3 a.m. in the morning, a 14-year-old girl. She was flown to another country. She was taken to Def Jam headquarters. She was left in a conference room alone with Sean Carter for nearly 6 hours alone, with no parental supervision. Her father collected a $500,000 check. She has the fastest inked deal in Def Jam.
Now that the statements have been officially recorded and several witnesses are named in the filing, legal experts say the case could start moving forward more quickly through the courts. Lawyers reviewing the information note that some of the details follow patterns often seen in major, closely watched cases, which could affect how prosecutors look at the situation. At this stage, nothing has been confirmed, and the inquiry is still ongoing. Even so, the situation highlights how fast serious claims can grow and how quickly a well-known figure can come under intense legal and public attention.
They sang another ballad from the album last time.
So then what did he say to you? He said something to you.
Oh yes, he said, we don't sing songs here, we sing artists. And there was this little pause, and I was nervous. But then he said, and we're interested. And there was this sudden feel of relief.
But then he said something about a window and a door or something.
Oh, then he said, he did it whole
I did a lot of homework on you, this lady.
He said, there are 2 ways to leave here, either through the door with the deal signed or through this window, and we're on the 29th floor.
So you was like, where's the pen? Where's the paper? I'm signing.
Yeah.
The audience is so uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if Tyra was trying to get that on the record, but my God, what Jaguar? He threatened her. This is her own words coming out of her mouth. And she was a kid at that time, correct?
15-year-old girl who had been flown to the United States without parental supervision or a chaperone, brought to a grown man's office in a large corporate Manhattan building. Everybody knew when she flew in. I was there the day she got signed.
And
beautiful.
When
girl.
I met her that day, I knew she was a star. Like, just her look, the way she walked into a room and her confidence, and she performed in my office.
And she was what, 17 years old at that point?
She was 16.
16, and she has the confidence of it. She's like an old soul in a sense, right?
Absolutely.
So she walks in your office and what? She just belts out a tune?
Belts out a tune. She performs, and I tell her, there's no way out of this office. I signed her that day.
Wow. Wow.
Work ethic, everything is there. So we signed it at night. We didn't let it leave the office.
Really?
The 3 a.m. was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3.
In several recent appearances, including a discussion on Bad Boy TV, 50 Cent has openly questioned Jay-Z's leadership decisions by pointing to deeper issues of pressure, expectations, and power within the music industry. Instead of turning it into a personal attack, he presented his comments as a wider look at how powerful figures handle responsibility while constantly in the public eye. His remarks have stirred up long-running conversations about industry culture, boundaries, and accountability. As a result, the discussion around Jay-Z's legacy has gained new energy and intensity.
A profile lawsuit accuses rapper Jay-Z of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The lawsuit, originally filed in October, was refiled today to include Jay-Z as a defendant. The anonymous accuser claims the assault occurred at an MTV Video Music Awards after party. Jay-Z has denied the allegations in a statement on Roc Nation's Instagram, calling the accusations heinous and urging a criminal complaint be filed instead of a civil one. He also criticized the attorney behind the lawsuit, Tony Busby, accusing him of exploiting the case for personal gain.
Inside the building, plaintiff recognized many celebrities as she entered what appeared to be a large living room or foyer containing a large crowd. Plaintiff attempted to mingle in the crowd and talk to several of the celebrities that she recognized and whom she wanted to see at the VMAs. Waitstaff circulated throughout the room, carrying trays of drinks, and loud music played throughout the venue. Plaintiff observed widespread drug use, including marijuana and cocaine. After attempting to talk to numerous celebrities, plaintiff accepted a drink from one of the waitresses, circulating the crowd. The drink was a reddish-yellow mixture that tasted like orange juice, cranberry juice, and something bitter. After drinking just a portion of that drink, plaintiff began to feel woozy and lightheaded, making her need to lie down. A photograph of an actual exemplar container used by Combs and or his agents/employees to insert GHB into alcoholic drinks is seen below. And these are the photos included in the lawsuit that show a small plastic container that the plaintiff claims contained drugs at the party. The woman, remember, who claims she was 13 at the time, says she felt woozy and went to look for a place to lay down. Soon after, Combs entered the room along with defendant Carter and a female celebrity, Celebrity B. Plaintiff immediately recognized all 3 celebrities. Combs aggressively approached plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Combs then threw plaintiff toward a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her on the bed. At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. Plaintiff was held down by Carter as he vaginally raped her, while Combs and Celebrity B watched. After Carter was finished, he stepped back toward the wall. Combs then stepped forward and vaginally raped plaintiff while Carter and Celebrity B watched. Combs then knocked plaintiff down and attempted to force plaintiff to perform oral sex on him. She fought back, standing up quickly and punching out at the same time, hitting Combs in the neck.
More recently, Jay-Z's past has come back into the spotlight after a newly filed lawsuit triggered heavy media attention and reopened questions about how key moments in the music industry were handled years ago. The claimant's account has sparked fresh discussion about the atmosphere around major music events at the time, including the involvement of well-known figures and what she describes as a lack of action during a troubling situation. Although the case is still developing and all claims remain unproven, it has reignited wider conversations about accountability, shared responsibility, and how the entertainment industry addresses unresolved issues from earlier periods.
And a teenager, 13-year-old teenager. And we were speaking about just the statement.
Right.
The statement, you were saying you felt like that was calculated.
That was, yeah, that the statement is something from, you can tell it was written by a lawyer. Because there's a point where it kind of gets aggressive. He says, you're going to find out, like how I'll handle this. And that's an attorney want to be combative with another attorney. That's not like a publicist wouldn't say those things.
This is on your
put that up.
Yeah, this is on
50?
Yeah, it says I don't know what's going on, but are we still going to have the Super Bowl? I'm just asking for a friend.
Yeah, I'm asking for Kendrick. You know, I'm just trying to figure out if we're still doing everything the way. Because look, they will fall back, but they the NFL, they won't necessarily be associated to that.
Right. why do you not insert yourself, but you're on top of every topic, right?
Yeah. I'm just watching. I'm participating. I'm being part of culture. I'm just telling you my opinion.
Right.
Look,
because you're part of the culture.
Like I can't say anything now. I'm out of it. I'm like in a.
With the testimony now officially on file and several witnesses named, legal experts say the case could start moving more quickly through the court system. Lawyers examining the information note that some of the outlined details resemble patterns often reviewed in major, widely watched cases, which could play a role in how prosecutors assess the claims. At this point, nothing has been confirmed, and the investigation is still ongoing. Even so, the situation highlights how rapidly serious accusations can build and how fast a high-profile individual can come under intense legal and public focus.
Advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did run your life.
A 38-year-old mother from Alabama who has filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z of raping her when she was 13 years old is speaking out to NBC News for the first time. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward and talk today?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through, and it's been hard enough to be quiet. But it's a chapter of my life that I'd like to close.
You weren't scared to be all alone?
No, with having autism is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof juggle ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out.
In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury. The night of the 2000s VMAs, she says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive. Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who has since died. The woman says she spoke to Combs' limo driver who offered her a ride to an after party.
I stumbled upon Diddy's driver who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for.
What did you think when he said that to you?
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo because, I have about his tattoo that's the Last Supper because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about.
At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns raping her while a female celebrity watched.
JC comes in and rapes me. He at that point I was fighting, trying to get away from him, and he put his hand over my mouth and told me to stop it, cut the
After the alleged rape, she says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me.
Adding to the growing debate, Jaguar Wright has spoken out, saying the recent allegations have brought back concerns she believes have followed Jay-Z for many years. She pointed to a career shaped by complex and often debated moments, while noting that more people from the industry are now sharing their own views. Wright encouraged the public to take a closer look at how powerful figures respond when faced with criticism and legal challenges. Her comments have further sharpened the discussion around accountability, influence, and the difficulties often faced by those who decide to speak openly about their experiences.
Could theoretically win if her testimony were especially compelling, but I think you put your finger on one of the real weaknesses is that these allegations are ancient. One thing that leapt out to me is the allegations also include that there was a witness,
yes.
Other than Diddy, who a female, another woman. Her testimony, and obviously she will be subpoenaed, could be crucial. I mean, if that testimony corroborated the plaintiff's claims, then that would be something that would really be a game changer. But the plaintiff alone, I think, is going to face some credibility issues, especially when you have Jay-Z. I mean, Diddy, the allegations are pretty widespread, but there haven't been similar allegations about Jay-Z.
People at risk, often mentioned online, was Jay-Z, real name Sean Carter, who came up in the New York rap scene alongside Sean Combs. And just a few days ago, Texas attorney Tony Busby made it official. He filed an amended complaint on behalf of a Jane Doe who says that she was raped by Combs and Carter when she was just 13 years old, that this happened at a VMA's after party back in 2000. Now, the original complaint mentioned Celebrity A and Celebrity B, a man and woman, as being present for and even Celebrity A participating in the alleged assault. Well, now Celebrity A has been identified as Jay-Z, who has adamantly denied anything like that ever happening. He is very, very clear on that. In fact, he has accused Tony Busby of extortion, saying that Busby's attempts to get celebrities to pay out huge sums of money in exchange for not being named in civil lawsuits with what he claims are false allegations amounts to blackmail. In fact, Jay-Z is believed to be the John Doe who just recently filed a lawsuit against Tony Busby anonymously, claiming extortion and intentional infliction of...
From an insider's perspective, Jay-Z and Diddy are often seen as figures who have spent years working under intense pressure. Former high-profile bodyguard Big Homie, CC, suggested that situations like this can set off strong ripple effects across the industry. He pointed to recent tension involving Jay Fox as an example of how quickly things can escalate once there is talk that someone might speak openly about powerful individuals. His comments highlighted how fast attention can shift and how unstable the entertainment world can become when reputation, rumors, and long-standing industry dynamics collide.
Has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Piers Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Piers Morgan.
Is Beyonce Celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's very... she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry.
Well,
what I will say is that her husband, she knows exactly who he is.
Facing the growing attention head-on, Jay-Z has made it clear that he plans to strongly defend his reputation and push back against the stories taking shape around him. His legal team is actively responding to the claims while carefully managing what is shared publicly, stressing that the case could have wider effects on the music industry and influence how similar situations are handled in the future. Those watching closely say disputes at this level rarely stay contained. Instead, they often draw even more attention and help shape how future cases are viewed, showing just how high the stakes are when a powerful figure is under continued legal and public pressure.
Fox is speaking out after being injured during a confrontation at his birthday dinner, a day after the Oscar winner was allegedly involved in a physical altercation with an unidentified person, resulting in him needing to get stitches. The 57-year-old takes to Instagram on December 14th to address the situation and thank fans for their support. Jamie first shares a simple message on his feed that reads, "The devil is busy, but I'm too blessed to be stressed." He then writes in the caption of the post, "The devil is a lie. Can't win here. Thank you to everybody that pray and check on me. When your light is shining bright, they try to bring you darkness, but they don't know that you're built for it. The lights have been shining bright." On December 13th, the Ray actor was celebrating turning 57 with his family at a restaurant in Beverly Hills when things reportedly took a turn. A rep for the actor told NBC News at the time, Jamie Foxx was at his birthday dinner when someone from another table threw a glass that hit him in the mouth. He had to get stitches and is recovering. The police were called in the matter.
Attention has now turned to a reported collection of recordings said to have been kept as a precaution during high-pressure industry interactions. Sources indicate these materials were meant to document sensitive moments and provide protection, highlighting the caution and the stress that can arise when influential figures navigate complex professional relationships, with the recordings reportedly now in the hands of authorities. Both investigators and the public are paying closer attention. This has put everyone involved under greater scrutiny and sparked broader conversations about accountability, credibility, and the risks of working at the highest levels of the entertainment industry.
After not only the attorney who filed the rape lawsuit against him and Diddy, that would be Tony Busby, the attorney, but also the accuser. And he has filed a new motion this morning, which we're going to get to in a moment, but basically he wants to level the playing field with the accuser. But first, we got to start with this response that Jay-Z had to the allegation. Catch you up real quick if you hadn't heard, but a woman who had filed a lawsuit against Diddy back in October, alleging that he had raped her at a VMA after party in the year 2000, and she was only 13 years old.
Right. Remember, this is when she allegedly was given a drink. She felt woozy, and there was Diddy, and there was a male celebrity who was unnamed at the time, and also a female celebrity.
Well, that unnamed celebrity is now named. She refiled the lawsuit on Sunday. She and her attorney, Tony Busby, refiled it and named Jay-Z as the unnamed celebrity involved in the rape. Jay-Z's response is extraordinary in that, look, we've seen all these lawsuits against Diddy, dozens of them now at this point, and frequently his response has been to deny it, but to say nothing else. Jay-Z went way more than just denying it. He did do that, but then went directly after the attorney. Part of his statement said, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt from a lawyer named Tony Busby. It made me want to expose you, Tony Busby, for the fraud you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these types of theatrics. You claim to be a Marine? Marines are known for their valor. You have neither honor nor dignity."
The New York Times contacted me to ask for my response to rapper Jay-Z's allegations that I tried to extort and blackmail him. My response is pretty straightforward. No one has made any threats. Jay-Z's assertions are bogus and laughable. Instead, our firm sent a standard demand letter seeking a mediation on behalf of a woman who alleges Jay-Z sexually assaulted her as a minor. The letter was vetted and approved by our client, whose preference was to attempt resolution short of filing a lawsuit. This approach is common in these types of cases. What you're seeing played out now is a coordinated and desperate effort to focus the public's attention on me personally to avoid attention on the allegations being made by my clients. This effort has included harassing my family and colleagues and even offering former clients money to sue me, which is illegal. When an alleged perpetrator behaves in this manner, wildly asserting that a basic demand letter is extortion and aggressively using the media to attack the opposing lawyer while at the same time ignoring the allegations being made by the alleged victim, it reminds me of a famous line from Shakespeare. "The lady doth protest too much, methinks." We intend to address all of these issues with the court in due course. Let me be clear, we will not be...
Tony Busby, the attorney representing the plaintiffs, has described the case as just the opening stage of a much larger legal process. He indicated that more individuals may come forward, highlighting the wide and interconnected networks that figures like Jay-Z and Diddy navigate across entertainment, sports, business, and politics. Busby emphasized that as the case progresses, its impact could extend far beyond one courtroom, underscoring the significant influence, scrutiny, and responsibility that come with operating at the highest levels across multiple industries.
Right? Are you expected to eventually turn those things over, or
well, that's what we're going to head over to do now. So we have a hearing now to determine what we're going to do in terms of what documents we'll have to turn over and what documents we do not.
So why were you in court today?
Just to give testimony to the grand jury. He was subpoenaed by the court. So as we all know, if you don't answer a subpoena, the marshals will come to your house as they came to his house, and they will bring you here. So that's why we're here today.
I know you can't mention celebrities per se. You did mention some in the interview. So just to clarify, you can back that up with actual factual footage.
We have, it's things that we have, but we got to go to the other courthouse. So I don't know if that's any more questions, but we got another hearing.
Are you nervous, or do you feel cool?
Nah, I ain't never nervous. Only thing scared me is God.
But I know you did mention what was on the flash drive before. Would you be able to kind of go over that now, or is that something that you can't discuss?
No, we're trying to go to discuss that now, what we will be able to talk to in terms of what was available and what was on those flash drives.
Okay.
But it was the book. So
it is Kim Porter's book, but not necessarily some of the stuff with the celebs that were mentioned besides.
It's hers. Nobody touched.
Oh, so it is her official book.
Yes. Nobody,
and no one touched
nobody altered it.
So it's not the copy that the gentleman said that he was selling before. No.
No.
It's two different copies. That one.
As more accounts emerge and new developments unfold, the pressure on high-profile figures continues to grow, creating an atmosphere full of scrutiny and calls for accountability. Experts and fans alike are watching closely to see how the situation develops and what it could mean for the reputations, careers, and influence of those involved. Some are already asking whether this could be a turning point in how the industry addresses long-standing legal and ethical questions. Share your thoughts and join the discussion in the comments below.